I'm Tammy McGuire, and on this week's version of Foster to Family, we're interviewing Tabitha O'Connor, who is not only our intern, but part of our Foster Closet family. Welcome, Tabitha, for this week's version.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Tell everybody how you met me.
So we met through Co-Passion, which is a ministry at UNF, and I filled out an application for Foster Closet, and that's when I met you.
I know, we were so blessed to have her. When she came in and I saw her resume, I was like, check, 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 check. She's been a wonderful asset and a great family member. So thanks for being a part of our Foster Closet family. What brought you to Co-Passion, and why did you choose Foster Closet?
So I just wanted to be a part of a ministry on campus, and for Foster Closet, it's just I'm actually majoring in social work and criminal justice at UNF, and I just have a passion for foster care.
So what can you choose for your future career with those two majors?
Maybe a child investigator or a forensic interviewer.
So you want to deal more in the children's level of foster care, or do you think you'll go bigger and better in a different realm?
Well, hopefully bigger and better, but with
starting out with your stepping stones to a bigger and better career. That makes sense. Well, everybody out there who works for Department of Children and Families, want you to know how great she is, because we know that you're out there and that you need somebody to help you with their career path and be their mentor. So Tabitha's a great person for that. So Tabitha, why did you choose Foster Closet? Is there a personal reason why you might have chosen the Foster Closet?
So I was actually in foster care for about 5 years, until the age of 7.
How old were you when you first came in?
I was 2 years old.
2 years old. That's so young. Do you remember any of that?
I only remember getting placed the second time in foster care, so I got taken away at the age of 2, and then I got replaced with my parents at 3, and then a year later back in foster care.
Do you remember being placed back with your family? That's reunification, by the way, when you're placed back with your parents. When you were reunified with your birth parents, do you remember that time frame?
No, actually I don't.
That might be a good thing, everybody, because there might have been trauma, there might have been neglect, whichever one. It might have been her time to kind of shut down. Sometimes the brain doesn't process for a reason, and that's a good thing for her. So after you got into foster care, you were 5. That means you're probably around in kindergarten. I'm sure you stayed there in the one placement the whole time, right?
No, I actually switched about 5 times in 5 different houses.
That is so sad, Tabitha. I cannot even imagine 5 times at 5 years old. And how many months?
Maybe about 6 or 8 months.
Wow. I want you to think about when you were a child in kindergarten and those 5 or 6 months, and then moving with your family that many times. Now think of yourselves by yourself. How scared you must have been. I'm so sorry for you, because to me that's tear-jerking. Just think of a 5-year-old out there. Just going from one place to the other, and new rules, new regulations. Why move so many times?
I think it was because I didn't get along with some of the foster kids in the house as well, and some of the parents I just didn't really like, but maybe it could have been due to trauma.
So do you think you acted out in some way, or do you think, oh, I'll just push your button so you can get rid of me, so that way I don't have to like you, I don't have to love you, and you don't have to love me? Almost like a protection.
Well, I definitely did push buttons, as I recall, because I didn't really want to get attached to any of one, because I knew it wasn't going to be forever.
That's so sad, because, I mean, you and I out there who've lived a full family life from birth till your time aging out or growing out of that family unit into your own adulthood, having that feeling of anyone in your family leaving you is horrific enough, but now you're leaving them, and then you're leaving that person, and then you're leaving that person. So parts of you are left everywhere, I'm sure, somewhere down the road, right? Mm-hmm. But this time you're 5. You said that you didn't get along sometimes with the foster kids. Were there any birth kids in the home that you might not have kind of meshed with?
Yes, there for about a year and a half. She had 3 kids of her own, and then she had 3 foster kids, including me. So about 6 kids in the house, and I just remember always like getting to fights with like the little girl and some of her kids as well.
So what that means is sometimes you have a foster, sometimes you have your belly birth children, and when you have them in a home, I mean, you get it. Even your own belly babies don't get along, right? Or even if your own adoptive children who have been in foster care and you adopted them as a sibling group don't get along. But now you have a scared child who just came into your home, and you're going to have to now mesh them into everything. And so how long is your longest time that you were with those families before you found the one that you were with for 2 years?
So I think the longest I was with the last family was 1.5 years, but for the other families, it was probably a couple weeks at a time or maybe a month, and then I would switch houses.
Times people that kind of made you feel weird inside, right? And then were you 5 then, or was it later on?
I think it was age of 5, and I called my social worker actually and said I don't like being here, and I spent one night there, and then she came and picked me up.
At 5? You had your caseworker's number?
I had it on a flashcard in my back pocket at all
Okay.
times.
Family support counselors or caseworkers out there. If you think your 5-year-old does not need your number, they do. And this is case point that here she is, a scared child walking into a feeling where she knew that it was probably unsafe or might feel unsafe with this man, and she was able to get out, right? Yay to the caseworker. Yay to you to standing up for yourself at the age of 5. Well, God was watching out for you for sure, but also God had put something inside you to yearn to get out of that situation. So if you're a caseworker out there, or if you are willing to take in on a child and they want to call their caseworker, please let them. That just gives comfort. Even if it's not about you, it just gives them, when you think that's their time to be able to connect with somebody, or their lifeline, right?
Right.
Good job. Good job. Sticking up for yourself. I'm proud of you. So after that, you were how old when your final placement? 5 still.
Yes.
And then when you finally went up for termination of parental rights with your family, how old were you?
I don't remember.
Because she wasn't privy. Kids come in with a red folder. And in that folder is all the documentations throughout the years. Well, as they're moved, the caseworker starts compiling their folders, and Tabitha was able to read all of her documentation, and some of it's not so fun to and read. However, it is her story. How old when you finally went up for adoption?
Age 7.
So age 7. So you're in the second grade, I guess, second grade. And then what did the caseworker tell you, that you were going up for adoption? How did people present that to you?
I don't really remember, but I remember she said she had a family that wanted to meet me, and we went and I met them. I spent like a day with them in DeLand, Florida.
We love you. We support Tabitha. I'm Tammy McGuire, and thank you so much for tuning in to this edition to Foster a Family. Make sure that you like us, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.